Oh, that was the last episode. Never mind.
Well, I'm going to have some of that too. So we're
Okay,
on the
check it out.
same page, Paul.
Bring up the video.
Oh my word. Okay. So I think, let me do 5 seconds of silence and I'll start that now. All right. Thank you guys. Okay. And did you start recording, Paul? You said you were going to.
Yeah.
Doing that? Okay, cool. I am.
And I am too for the fun of it.
All right. I am recording now also.
Hello. Check. Yeah, I am still recording. Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, guys. Well, I just have a little bit of an intro where I'm going to be a female hen. Something like that. Something like that. So it's weird. I did this morning quietly, and I was like, wow, that really sounds like Babs.
Oh.
I think it's Babs.
My voice is so different in the morning than it is later in the day.
My
I don't know
whole
what
life
times
flashed
of day.
before my eyes. It was really boring.
Yes.
Slow and boring.
Exactly. You're not. Oh, actually, I think you did get first, Ken. Good job. We don't have the animation here on the podcast scenes, but well done, well done. Welcome. All right. Oh, I want to check one more thing to see if we got any more votes in locals. Thanks for the love, Ashley. Let's see here. Don't need that. Okay. And also to see if anyone left comments, because sometimes it doesn't say. It'll say 0 comments, but there are comments. Okay, no comments. Good. Good. All right. Then thumbs up if. Wow. Thumbs up if you guys are ready to go.
Hold on.
Okay. Hey, Dan.
Okay. Thumbs up.
Awesome. All right, guys. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3. I'm not kicking anyone out.
No, that's what happened to Jacob.
Wait, what?
Because he's not here.
Oh. Yes. Wow. Apparently, I'm Mr. Slow on the uptake. Anyway, here we go. All of my life flashed before my eyes. It was really boring. Probably because I didn't listen to this episode. Dang it. So
Of
close.
retro.
Probably
This
because
episode. Sorry, go for it.
Probably because I didn't listen to episode 308 of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro systems online. Reflux capacitor fluxing. Scanning movie space-time for Star Trek 2009. Rewinding in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 plus. Dang it!
Well, you're really on.
Or more.
Where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I am your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the PaulJPowers.com Powers. Hey, Paul.
You got it, dollface.
Okay. Rocky Road. Rocky Road. Also, for this discussion of the film Chicken Run, we welcome back aboard. Hold on. Edna Mode.
My name's not Edna Mode.
I know it's not Edna Mode, but it's possible you're being promoted, and I can't remember. Because I know you've been on.
I assumed you knew, darling.
I didn't think there was. I thought there was only 2 promotions.
Oh, you're already at officer. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been on enough episodes. I'm almost a captain.
I'm sorry. Funny. All right, let me try that again. In addition, we
Who's
also
Batman?
also
That wasn't the sound effect I was doing.
You triggered it. I can't help myself. All right.
You swallowed
off the rails
right?
tonight.
Spit it out.
Exactly.
And it went,
Exactly.
I was doing the Pac-Man death.
Nuh-uh.
But anyway.
Also, for this discussion of the film Chicken Run, we welcome back aboard Chief Archive. we welcome back aboard Archives Officer Drew Dodgen. Hey, Drew.
Them chickens, they organized.
Yeah, sure they are.
More
and
than
now,
us.
now that and now that you have a quick flyby of who we are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for Chicken Run?
Wait, not Chicken Little? Disney's Chicken Little in 2005?
No, I'm glad you're checking
that
now
is old
before
enough.
you're rewinding.
Oh.
Good job.
Woo! All right. Here we go.
And not the chicken nugget one.
All right. No, it's fine.
Okay.
Chicken Run. That came out. Right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. November 2nd, 2000.
What?
On
What?
the Game
What are
Boy
you doing?
Color, Dreamcast,
No!
and PlayStation.
Dang it.
It was developed by Blitz Games.
Stop.
and published
Stop.
by- What?
Stop.
What? I made sure this time.
Okay. But the movie Chicken Run, not the
Oh.
video game.
That could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Fine.
I guess that would still be old enough.
Played that dumb game for nothing.
Did
All
you?
right.
Did you beat it?
Play that stupid
No.
game.
Ah, well.
Paul Hall.
All right. So, the movie Chicken Run, right? The movie?
Yes, the movie.
All right. Was released June 23rd.
Oh my
All
word.
right. It runs an hour and 24 minutes and is rated G. It was directed by Peter Lord and Nick Park and written by Peter Lord, Nick Park, and Carrie Kirkpatrick, with lead stars being Mel Gibson, Julia Sawalaha.
Sawala?
Sorry, Julia. One of
Sawala,
those.
Pick your favorite, Julia.
Yeah. And Phil Daniels. And the music was composed by Harry Gregson Williams and John Powell. Oh, John Powell. He did Shrek and How to Train Your Dragon, other DreamWorks. All right, cool. Are you ready for the box office trivia?
I might be ready.
Sure.
Apparently, Drew's really ready, and anyone who's here live in chat, you're welcome to guess as well. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay. The movie Chicken Run was made
Glad
for
we got that straight.
Yes, thank you. The movie was made for about $42 million and earned over $227 million at the box office.
Sorry, I don't know. I was waiting for you to go right into the thing and emote that out, Francisco. But there you go.
All right. Good job laying those golden eggs. All right. Given this fact, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically? And since the budget was about 42 million, we'll go for the top 42.
Top 42. Okay. Drew, what is your guess?
8.
8. Okay. Let's see. In chat, I had to refresh. I missed the beginning. Oh, no, Ken. But he guesses 42, right on the bottom.
All right.
DL guesses 25. For me, I am going to guess 25. Oh, no, Dale guessed 25. I'm going to guess 29. That's going to be my guess. Paul, where did it actually end up?
I think Drew had the best strategy because you take two eggs and put them on top of each other, and they're the number 8. So it came in at 16, but I still think he wins. He's double that.
Yeah, no, I think because 25 is closer
25
to
is
16.
technically closer. So
So
my
Dale
math is
gets
off.
it. Good job, Dale.
Good job, Dale. Double goose egg is still 0. Sorry.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert. Alert. Target located. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
This is a chicken farm, and we're the chickens.
The mission.
We're all going to fly over that fence, and Mr. Rhodes is going to show us how.
The enemy.
Stupid stupid, worthless creatures.
The Breakout.
Up and at 'em, gals. Let's splat.
Ain't nobody here but us chickens. We're gonna fly the coop. We're gonna loop the loop. 'Cause we're the same here. Chicken Run.
In emergency, put your head between your knees and
Kiss your butt goodbye.
This film is not yet rated. Starts Friday, June 23rd.
Not yet rated. It must be, probably, I don't know, rated R, I think. That's what I remember. But maybe we remember
rated eggs.
Some different. His rated E for eggs. Probably the video game was.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that commercial might bring back some memories for you. But let's find out what we collectively remembered in our memory mind meld of Chicken Run. 2 chickens on a farm discover they will be used to make chicken dinners. So they want out of their chicken prisoner of war camp. But none of the other chickens believe them until American rooster Mel Gibson comes along and inspires them by declaring, "They may take our eggs, but they'll never take our freedom." Yeah. After fighting off a Klingon, the chickens fly away in their chicken coop bird plane thing. Based on those memories, as flawed as they were.
No, you forgot a line.
In their chicken coop bird plane thing. Well, some of that was accurate. There were chickens in this, but I'd say most of those memories were decepted.
It's funny that the Klingon was actually accurate.
Wait, was Mrs. Tweedledum a Klingon or something?
That's what Max said. It's a Klingon cotton.
Wait.
Did you fall asleep?
No.
Probably.
No, I didn't fall asleep.
It was right when they saw Mrs. Tweedy was clinging on to the bird.
Oh,
plane.
yeah. Sorry, that was one of those.
Cling on. In fact, the subtitles don't even spell it CLING-ON.
Was she like a Klingon voice actress or played a Klingon?
No, she was clinging on.
She was clinging on.
I get the joke, but it would have been better if she was actually, was in.
Oh, they can't do
Star Trek.
everything.
Whatever. Okay, so given our memory mind meld as it was, our memories were a bit flawed, but what memory did the trailer, or as you were preparing to watch this, what Rain did you predict based on your memories? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Drew, what was your prediction for Chicken Run? And when was the last time you'd seen this film?
Oh, well, the last time I saw this film was when we recorded our episode for this on the Cellcast about 2-3 years ago.
Do you have the episode number for that?
No, I do not, because why would I be that prepared? And plus, we don't keep episode numbers, so...
And that's what Google's for.
I suppose so.
Tell you what, I'll send you a link. You can put it in the show notes.
What? I had to put things in show notes.
Believe it or not.
So what was your prediction, Drew?
Considering that this is probably one of my favorite films of all time, classic.
Tragic. Interesting.
Classic.
Okay. Oh, I misheard.
Classic example of tragic.
Paul, maybe when was the last time you saw this film? And is it in your top echelon, making it a classic prediction for you?
I remember seeing this in the theaters, and I think I've seen it at least once, maybe twice shortly thereafter when it became available to own. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember seeing it in 20 plus years since then.
Okay.
Which is barely 20 plus years from now. But I remember enjoying it, and so I put nostalgic because I haven't had any real desire to see it anytime soon.
Okay, cool. And so apparently we're running the gambit in predictions because I predicted tragic. And
what?
This did not look at all appealing to me when it came out. I've never seen it before, so the last time I saw it was yesterday morning. So based on those predictions, it'll be interesting to see whether or not they panned out. But first, let's get into the things we liked most about Chicken Run. Alice, start up our
best bits.
Best bits, best nuggets, So let's begin with Drew. What's one thing you liked about your favorite movie ever?
The character of Babs.
Okay, she's the one that knits, right?
She's the knitter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's not the pink bunny with ears, and that's not related to
No. That was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
on an entirely different show. There's no relation.
Yeah.
No, Babs the chicken is one of the funniest characters I think in this, because she will take any situation and say the stupidest thing, and yet at the same time it's kind of clever, and it makes me laugh every single time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and endearing. Yeah.
Most of the time when you have stupid characters like this, I hate them because they're not funny. They just say stupid things. It's the same joke over and over again. Every time she says something, I am laughing out loud. And honestly, I can remember when I first watched this back in 2000 in the movie theater. I actually was afraid she was going to get killed when Tweety got to her. So Babs is one of my favorite characters in the entire film. So because she's funny, and you don't normally get stupid characters that are this comedic.
Yeah, you know what's
funny to me.
You know what's interesting? Let me check my notes. That turned out to also be one of my likes. Oh, Babs the character. What are the odds? Yeah, she was sweet though. So that's one of my likes. Paul, what's one of your likes?
I'm gonna go ahead and say the music. While the music really didn't stand out, like I can't recall a theme. I did notice it like towards the climax, like it had a little more upbeat, a little more rambunctious. So I think the music did a good job carrying its tone and everything throughout the film. So I thought it was good.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
That's interesting. As I check my notes one more time, that's also one of my likes.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Was your favorite song?
No, it wasn't.
You're right. It should have been, because it's a fowl. It's an Araquan bird, and it wasn't even featured.
It would have been perfect. What are they thinking?
Right.
These chicken runners.
It was very foul music.
All right. So, wow. Two of my likes already, guys. That's amazing how you were both able to come up with things I liked.
Are you sure you saw this?
I saw it.
Okay.
Let's go back to Drew. What's something else you liked?
I like that this is basically a prisoner of war escape movie, like The Great Escape, or honestly, just because I grew up with the show Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
That's what this most reminds me of. And it's just a version with chickens trying to escape their chicken farm, because if they don't, they're all going to get their heads cut off. So I appreciate that. I like that it's, and there's stakes in this film to the point where it's like so many kids films, they would, especially at this time, would shy away as much as they could from the word kill and dead. And it's like right in your face that's what's going to happen. They even execute a character just off screen, and you hear the thunk of the axe coming down and hitting the log.
Yeah, but you don't hear the chicken flapping with its head cut off afterwards, which I was disappointed in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that would have taken away from the seriousness of the
scene. Didn't hear a gush of blood, which was really weird. I would have expected that.
No, they saved that for the hot gravy scene in the giant chicken pot pie machine.
I suppose, yes. Okay, but so you liked that there was
it's a war movie,
and it wasn't shying away from those themes of death and
it's willing to be truthful about what's going to happen.
Okay, nice. Paul, what's one more thing you like before we get to our classic makers?
I think they did such a good job of making Mrs. Tweety so horrible and not likable that when Mr. Tweety came on, I felt increasingly more sympathetic for him.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
yes.
And it even to the point where kind of along the lines of Babs, it became kind of funny between his interaction and seeing the chickens and him.
It's all in my head. It's all in my head.
And going back and forth. I found it that part is humorous as well. So they did a subtle way of setting up Mr. Tweety in comparison to all these other creatures that it made me endearing to the character. I don't know exactly how they did it, the way they did it. Like I'm describing in general how they did it, but if you ask me, well, how? I don't know. It was magical the way they set it up.
go ahead.
Going back to Hogan's Heroes, Mrs. Tweedy is basically the Commandant, and Mr. Tweedy is Sergeant Schultz.
Yeah.
He knows nothing.
So I on the whole, I've never seen Hogan's Heroes, by the way. That's why I'm not commenting on that. But
fair enough. It's good show. You should go watch it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you'd like it, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, Francisco doesn't like fun.
Yeah.
Good listener, I'll have you know, I love fun when it's actually fun. But Paul, I was gonna say that the thing I agree with you about Mr. Tweedy. I definitely felt compassion for him more and more as the film went. I really wish I would have seen him just outright kill Mrs. Tweedle, because
I thought he did, because at the end, didn't he
he left her to die, which would have been fine.
He pushed the wall,
but she
on
lived.
Top of her.
She lived.
Yeah.
And I mean, let me. I mean, you showed that chicken dying off screen. Just let me imagine that Miss Tweedle died. You don't have to show her at all. You don't have to open the door. Just she's gone, or you see a hand out of the pot of gravy, and that's it. Yeah, maybe she's just floating. Sure.
Or
sure,
maybe it's off screen. You don't know if she died or survived.
We see her. We see her. Or you're saying they could have just done that off screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were saying they did that off screen. I'm like, no, you see her. Okay.
No, they could have done that.
Gotcha. Yes.
Because maybe the axe missed the chicken head as well. We don't know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So since you guys seem to be raising suspicions that I didn't see this movie, I will start the classic makers. How about that? Will that help you guys?
Atta girl, Fazzy.
And actually, that quote isn't quite my tragic maker, wow, classic maker, but it's related to it. So I thought it was quite. I got a little bit of a like. Oh yeah, that's funny.
Oh no.
When I forget which character it was the bigger hen that was sort of like she got into a fight.
I don't remember her name, but
yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
Okay, she is red and she was one of the bigger hens. She said this is the scene where they're all like a Rocky Road. Mel Gibson's character's chicken has left, and they're like, "Where'd he go? He's abandoned us." And this one character said, and I don't even think he's American. And I thought that's clever because Mel Gibson's Australian, even though he seems American. So I thought that was clever, and it made me go, huh, that's funny. That's my classic maker.
Yeah.
I can see we're going to be on disagreement.
What are you talking about? That's something I loved so much. Let's go to Paul next.
Well, for my classic maker, you might even say this is
my favorite.
Sure.
That is all the chicken puns, all the bird related throughout the film.
Sure.
Okay. Calling the rooster cocky and like talking about how somebody's scrambled. I mean, this whole movie is poultry in motion, and I loved all the puns throughout it.
Okay. Drew, I would imagine the puns might have had a shot at least at your classic maker, but was it something else?
It does have a shot. In fact, it almost cracked my classic maker. However, I would be a poor animation podcaster if I didn't mention some of the animation in here that really impressed me.
Oh.
And one of them is the scene where Ginger is bringing up the bottom of the poster that's showing that Rocky is a fake.
Yeah.
And that is animated so well as she's moving in, but then that rain starts to fall. Now, I am 99% certain that's CG rain.
I was wondering the same thing.
Claymation rain water is next to impossible to look right.
And I was wondering the same thing
if you
about
make
the fire.
them at scale.
And when they're in the machine and the fire flames turn on all around, I'm like,
that's
looks like
CG.
Yeah.
No, guys, they made these things like twice the size of normal so that they could be able to film the water drops and everything, just totally looking real.
I say the flames are CG. That might actually be actual gas flames.
Well,
because it might be real fire.
Because I don't think they're moving. I think the camera's just moving. So you could probably do that with real fire if the stop motion characters aren't moving.
Yeah. It depends on how long the claymation doesn't melt.
Yeah.
They're plasticine. It's fine.
That's just modeling clay.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
It might harden them, but they probably only have so many of those models.
Well, Ginger's already hard-boiled at 20, so...
Fair. But that with the animation is one of the things I really love. But the other scene that impressed me is when she's on that last... when Mrs. Tweed's about ready to chop Ginger's head off after Ginger dropped the safety scissors, and as the axe comes down, you can for a split second see Ginger move her head and the axe go through the Christmas lights.
Yeah, that was why I was so confused, because I'm like, why is everyone upset? She clearly moved her head. So
an our angle.
It's very quick though. This is actually the first time I caught it.
I mean,
every other time I don't know if I blinked when I saw this, but this was the first time I caught that. Oh, they actually cut through. They actually filmed cutting through the Christmas lights. I don't know. I was impressed by it because that's a detail they did not have to do.
Sure, absolutely.
Because it's only on. It's less on there for like only maybe 15 frames.
Yeah,
is all that's on screen for.
So speaking to this a bit more, Ken asks in chat, why not? I think he's asking like what makes the rain so special? Like, can't you just overlay it? Or slow motion? Like what about it made it special here?
Claymation water, it does not. More than likely, it's either CG or, like he said, an overlay of actual rain. What I'm saying is, it wasn't there on set because it's obviously not made with clay. But I honestly, for some shots, I was not sure.
I would say
I want to say it's CG because this is going to be early set on, and it's just got to. And the way that rain has to fall, it's a very particular angle to look right. But this is the only reason I'm thinking it's not an overlay, because if it's an overlay of water raining down, there might have been a gap, considering the distance it falls. Should have been a gap in the center where the camera was, and there's not.
Just paint that out.
Maybe it's just, I don't know. To me, it looked more. It looked like the camera was right where it needed to be. There may have been some movement, which is why I'm thinking it had to be some very simple CG.
Hey, Drew. Normally,
I could be wrong.
If the movie has like commentary with it, I'll try to watch it for the podcast and help preparing my review. But this time, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to listen to the commentary.
Yeah, and I can't find my DVD as I had to watch this on Apple TV.
Oh, bummer. I was wondering if you had listened to it and if they mentioned how they did it or not.
I remember from a previous listen through that there is CG enhancements throughout the film.
Then I would imagine the elements.
And I want to say this was one of them.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That would make sense. They often do.
Because it would have been a lot cheaper just to throw this CG rain on there than to do pretty much anything else.
Yep.
All right. Well, that concludes our classic makers. So definitely some things to like about this movie, but we also have to talk about the things that we didn't like about Chicken Run. So let's start. Oh, hold on, guys. There's one more thing.
Skipping ahead.
There's one more thing I like.
What? It's a miracle. It's not even Christmas yet.
The Cellcast.
It's a chicken miracle.
The Cellcast, hosted by Jacob and Drew, review animated movies and TV shows, discussing what they appreciate about the medium in whatever form it takes, whether it is traditional hand-drawn animated movie, claymation shorts, or a 3D CGI series. Check out some animated reviews when you subscribe to the Cellcast at thecellcast.podbean.com. And don't forget, Cell is spelled with a C and a single L at thecellcast.podbean.com.
That would be CEL for those who are wanting the full spelling.
Sure. And POD, dang it! THECELCAST.PODBEAN.COM. Exactly.
And the Cellcast is great, Francisco. In fact, I wanted to thank you, good sir, because on one of their previous episodes, when they were reviewing Tiny Toons How I Spent My Vacation, you came and defended what I said about Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So I wanted to say thank you, sir, for saying how
boring it was, how slow and boring Mask of the Phantasm was.
I don't even remember when this came up, but you're welcome.
Are you saying I was defending or Drew?
I made the comment, and then you, Francisco, came in the chat and defended me.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm forgetting.
It's been a while. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were saying Drew defended you against me saying it was so boring.
He took Jacob's side. In fact, I missed Jacob. I wish he was here. But
yeah,
Mask of the Phantasm was one of the best Batman movies in my opinion. So,
well, there's not many.
Clearly, you haven't seen Batman 1989 or Batman Begins, but okay, that's fine.
I have seen every Batman.
Not everyone can see everything, Drew. I get it. It's okay. It's okay.
There may be a couple of straight to video ones.
There are many straight to video ones. There's a plethora of Batman movies to choose from. That's why it's one of the top.
I have seen a lot of them. So yeah.
All right. Anyway, but what does the Cellcast have to do with Chicken Run?
Nothing. I didn't say it was a like about Chicken Run. I just said it's something else I liked.
Oh,
random. We did review this film, so maybe that's why.
Hey, you know what? Why are we reviewing this film?
Yeah, why are we reviewing this film? As my wife tells me I'm wrong in chat.
Because you asked me for a patron pick, and I thought, what would be a fun movie that's animated that I could do on here that I haven't had I haven't forced these guys to watch yet.
Well, thank you, Drew. As a patron,
this is a classic in my opinion. So,
well, we want to thank you for being a patron and for picking.
Yes, thank you so much, Drew.
That's why you're reviewing it.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Okay,
so hey, Francisco, I know you're loving this talk about Chicken Run. Is there anything else we can talk about? Chicken Run?
Well, how about some trivia about Chicken Run? I know you guys. Yeah. I know we're all loving Chicken Run, so let's go back to Chicken Run. So, did you all realize early in development, Mac's name was supposed to be short for McNugget? With that in mind, Mac? I think the one with the glasses.
The one who's giving it all she's got, Cotton.
Oh, the old
Scottish. The Scottish scientist chicken.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The one who developed, who's smarter than any human and can make a plane out of a chicken.
Exactly. Okay. That one. So with that in mind, my question to you guys is,
it's not flying it for some reason.
My question to you guys is, which fast food chain makes the best chicken nugget in your opinion?
Okay.
Let's start with Paul. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I would say Chick-fil-A, especially I love their Chick-fil-A sauce with it. Okay. So for me, it's even though they're so more expensive now, but that's my go-to.
Okay. How about you, Drew?
So nugget is a very broad term, as I think it can also include boneless wings and popcorn chicken, and I'm actually going to go with Sonic's popcorn chicken.
Oh, wait, okay. Sonic has popcorn chicken?
Sonic has popcorn chicken.
I didn't know this. Is it very bready? Because I like popcorn chicken, but not when it's too bready.
It's a thin bread. It's mostly the chicken. There is a breading, and you got some decent sauces there at Sonic. And of course, their Cokes are good. So
yeah, all right. I'll have to check that out.
Assuming you got a Sonic with good Cokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sonic's has good Cokes if they have good Cokes. Thanks for that, Drew.
Those who have partaken and are connoisseurs know there's a difference depending on location and what local water supply.
Gotcha.
Okay. What about you, Francisco? Where do you lie on the nuggies?
I actually like Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets.
Oh.
So I like those. But I would have to... If I don't have like a sauce or anything, I think I'm more leaning in your camp, Paul, of Chick-fil-A's nuggets. Those are good.
See that one.
Yeah. Dale agrees. Chick-fil-A. Ken says McDonald's and Safeway. Okay. But yeah, sauce makes it. Awesome, guys. Oh, and Baba says Wendy's for him.
I mean, if I was really going to play it safe, I'd just say Tyson.
But that's not fast food.
Yeah, I meant
So
So yeah, I said fast food chain specifically. Dun dun dun.
Wahaha.
Yes.
Thank you, Francisco,
Of course,
for having some trivial fun with us with that question. And now let's have some trivial fun with you, our rad rewinders, about what memories you left about Chicken Run.
Indeed.
The movie, not the game that I stupidly. Anyway, go ahead.
I didn't even know you had a Dreamcast. Diane Blix says the chickens are up to something. Poultry in motion.
That's right. Daryl Hafner says, growing up, we actually named 2 of our pet birds Rocky and Ginger because of this movie. For me, it's a classic. Lots of fun memories tied with it.
Nice. Wardale White says, I think I remember people liking Mel Gibson as the rooster than I think more is what I mean, than his character in Disney's Pocahontas. Other than that, I remember it being a fun movie.
Dustin Warford, who's apparently a big deal.
That's what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
I may be in the minority here, but I didn't care for that movie at all.
What? And Who Will Save Generation X podcast says, I don't know why, but the animation on these characters are kind of creepy. I think it might be crazy eyes staring into my soul as if they know the date and time that I will die or something.
Now they just want revenge for all the chicken you've eaten.
They want revenge for all the chicken I've eaten. All right.
Yeah.
Chicken vengeance.
Okay. But
the Wrath of Cluck.
Oh my gosh. I feel like both Dustin and Who Will Save Generation X podcast comments sort of lead us into things we didn't like. So let's get there, Alice.
Worst woos.
Okay, guys. I will start things off here with.
All right, you limited to only 3, right?
Yes.
Okay,
only
just
3.
checking.
And a tragic maker. No. No. So my first one will be wait, hold on. Sorry, end of mode. What did I say here?
I don't know. I can't read your notes from here.
I'm gonna just cheat off of Paul and Drew.
How
again.
dare you, PaulJBarnes.com? Don't get it. They are all content state.
You know what? I'm an adult and I like
no,
chicken
I remember.
I'm just saying.
No, I got. So I'll start things off with some I didn't like, and that's why I didn't. I mean, I think there is a mentality to people. I mean, if we're anthropomorphizing these chickens to be people, I don't think of them as people. But if if that's the conceit for this film,
yeah, they reason like them.
It is an animated animal movie, so yeah.
I get that some people who are enslaved, they don't care about whether or not they're enslaved, and so I don't know. Like, I don't know how true this quote is, but I know it's credited or often said of. Oh geez, totally blanking on her name. She did the Underground Railroad before the Civil
Harriet
War.
Tubman.
Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
She's said to have said that I would freed many more slaves than I did if they only knew they were slaves. Something like that. I may be misquoting.
What? Are you saying a lot of slaves didn't know they were slaves? That's the first I've heard.
Like they didn't.
Oh, they have fences around their minds.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like they were saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
The fences are here in your heads.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I get that, but I feel like Ginger was the only one who cared about being free. So Ginger, just go. I mean, just what?
No, Mac was out too, I think.
Fine, then. Don't get me started on my trash maker. But they could just go, okay? They don't need to wait around and get free all the people that didn't even care about going. So I don't know why she was spending so much time. She didn't. She said she cared, but she didn't seem to care that much. I don't know. It was very confusing. I didn't get a lot of sense of like she really cared about. There weren't a lot of character moments for her where it's like I saw how much the other hens really meant to her as her family. It didn't feel like that at all. It felt like
talking about the hen that escaped in the beginning many times and said it's easy for one chicken to escape, but not everyone, so she's going to stay there and to help free everybody instead of just leaving for the pasture on her own. That one didn't care enough to stay and help everyone.
She cared enough to stay and help everyone because she saw them as a project, not because she cared about them, is how it came across to me. She is upset that the project wasn't doing what they were supposed to do.
Actions speak louder than words.
If I can point out that she didn't see them as a project. She saw them as family and didn't want any of them to die. You saw how she reacted when Edwina got took to the barn.
Right. She saw what we couldn't see, by the way.
Yeah.
She seemed sad for a little bit, but then she was just back to doing her normal life.
That's because she's a thinker, not a feeler.
Because she knows she's got to get them out of here if they're going to survive.
Well, there's an easy way to do that apparently was only clear to someone else, but
Francisco,
we'll get there later.
You got to remember, DC Talk said love is a verb.
Yeah, I understand
she stayed
that.
behind because she loves her kind.
Okay, but there's nothing in the movie that showed her love for them.
She stayed. She didn't.
She was willing to stay behind.
Yeah, and she could die. She lined up with them. She could die. Or she could escape by herself. She chose to line up with them. It's all there to me.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't read that way to me, guys, but let's continue.
All right. You know what didn't read well to me?
Sure,
and this is probably on me because my wife had to explain it to me.
Okay, fair.
The bottom of the poster.
Yeah.
When
did that get torn off? I don't remember.
Yeah, it got torn off, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is a big deal!" Like, all of a sudden, now we know he's a fraud, and I'm like, "Why? Why is it a big deal
canon
that the bottom of the poster? What, didn't they know he was from the circus? Like, what is the bottom of?"
They knew he was from the circus, but they didn't know he was flying because he was shot out of a cannon.
But that's what she pointed out. She's like, they thought he could fly, not that he couldn't. This poster showed he couldn't fly. He was only shot out of a cannon.
But it was so obvious to probably any adult because you hear the boom and we know birds can't fly, so it's like, okay, a cannon launches. I mean, I just knew. I had seen this movie before, and I knew.
Kids,
okay, I get that, and that's why you need this reveal.
And I can tell you, Francisco, that when I first saw this, I didn't know that boom was a cannon. I thought it was thunder because it looked like it was about to rain.
Okay,
yeah, it was a dark night.
On many subsequent viewings, after I knew how he flew. Yeah, I could tell it was a cannon because I know what cannons sound like and can put two and two together.
But I didn't even need that.
At the time, I didn't know I thought it was thunder.
And that's fine. I'm just saying it was painfully obvious to me what was going on. So
yeah.
But your first viewing is at what, 40?
43, thank you very much.
I don't know what your age is.
22. I'm 22.
Yeah.
A very, very handsome 22.
I felt a little
like there's more to it.
It wasn't obvious to me, and I'm an adult, and I feel like that could have been explained better. But maybe I feel like I'm also in the minority because
that's fair.
Because I thought the poster was
like it's almost like they were reacting to something else because already you sort of knew that part of it. So it's like,
yeah, exactly. I already knew that he was shot out of a cannon, and just because he shot out of a cannon doesn't mean he cannot fly. I mean, other things can get shot out of a cannon, but
yeah, very true. Yeah,
but that's me being weird. So that was my dislike because I didn't get it. So that's me.
Okay. Well, what is there something you didn't get about this film, especially maybe on this viewing of it, Drew?
There are a couple of moments in this where the animation is a little crunchy. And what I mean by that is, for the most part, the animation in this is fairly smooth for claymation.
Uh-huh.
But there's
choppy.
There's a couple of moments where it really did look like 1930s era stop motion in terms of how choppy it moved. There was some movement. It wasn't all the time. It was just there's a couple moments where I was watching, oh, that's a little low frame rate back on that character back there, or that movement was a little weird. So yeah, that crunchiness is going to be my first dislike.
Okay. Crunchy.
So you don't like your chickens crunchy.
I like original recipe, not extra crispy.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I like both, but that's fair. Okay. So that Paul,
especially when they're moving.
was there anything about the animation that made your dislike list?
Who, me?
Yeah.
We're already back to me. Wow, I'm so not used to this. Usually we have more.
I'm bouncing all around.
All right. A lot of the things I just chalked it up to, oh, that's plot convenience. Here's one of them. Mrs. Tweedy says towards the end, let's put all the chickens into the machine before testing out it again after it breaks. Like, okay, yeah, you're just going to erase all your batches. You're going to ruin all of it. Okay, because you're so money hungry. Yeah, that makes sense. I know I call it plot convenience because they're trying to make it more dramatic. Like, oh, let's kill all the chickens now. But it doesn't make sense. So
trust me, when we get to my tragic maker, I'm going to go into a lot more detail about this.
Yeah.
Chalk it up to unnecessary plot convenience.
Well, my next dislike is dovetailed with my previous one and goes to that plot convenience you're talking about. So Ginger's trying to escape for months, it seems, all these different ways to get out, all these different ways to free the chickens. And like 2/3 of the way into the movie, that's when she decides to explain why it's good to be free. Oh, we'll get to be in grass and all these things. I'm like, so you decide that they would just know your mind of why freedom is so good.
First off, she's telling that to Rocky, and the other chickens are all in their coops.
Why would Rocky need to know it? No, all of them are around. They're all around, from what I recall. It's not just
the
Rocky.
line you used was specifically when she's talking to Rocky about there being green grass to run around in, because she doesn't know what that's like, and
she brings that up too.
Freedom out there.
No, before that though, I think he's mainly talking about with the other chickens.
Yes.
I mean, that was admittedly for the convenience of the audience to explain why they want to be free. If for some reason you don't know why freedom isn't a good thing.
Yes, but here's the thing. I get that we know it and it's obvious to us.
I don't. Because they asked, who's going to feed us? And I'm like, who's going to feed you?
And this grass? Yeah, and this is why I'm like, see, they don't want to be free, so why are you spending all your time trying to free them? But it's like, you should have like led with that instead of wasting all your time trying to free them for something they obviously don't want.
You know what? It reminds me of Moses, right, with all the Israelites in the desert.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I will say when I watched this, I had always interpreted it as this is the 30th time this month in the last 30 days she's given this speech. She's got it practiced about what it is.
You think she says it every time?
Because she's still trying to convince them it's good to get out of there, and they're thinking, no, we want to stay here, and where the farmer will take care of us.
I will give you that is possible.
They can't really imagine what that must be like.
And if that's the case, I would have loved like a montage of her saying it over and over again, like the first few words you hear over and over again. But maybe there's no time for that. And I think that's a great explanation for it, Drew. I'll leave it at that.
That's how I have always interpreted.
Okay. All right.
Because I think that's how something like that might have gone in, one of these prisoner of war camps. Because this is a great escape movie when you get right down to it.
Well, it's an escape movie.
I was quoting a movie name, but whatever.
I know, and I was riffing on it. Drew, let's go to one more dislike for you.
Another dislike for me. This is a tough one, and I'm going to be nitpicking a little bit here, but I really don't like Mel Gibson in this movie.
Oh,
really? Oh, wow.
It's not that he does a bad job. It's just like of all the characters, I think it's because this is the only voice I recognize.
Oh, really?
So it stands out because of that?
Because most of the other actors in this, they are British. And when I go through the cast list, none of them are names that stand out to me, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the Babs, the actress for her, I really thought was a character in Doctor Who, and I looked it up, and she's not that character. So
okay.
That was the closest one I thought. But yeah, I think it's because I know that's Mel Gibson, and I knew it when I was a kid, when this movie came out.
Yeah.
I think it just took us like, okay, he's the actor. They all, I have a hard time suspending my disbelief with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have this problem with other films where there's a lot.
I was about to say, he
celebrity
sounds to me
casting.
a lot like Tim Allen because, I mean,
Yeah,
his voice is not very.
Doesn't...
When I think of Mel Gibson and I hear this voice, and I'm like, really? That's Mel Gibson? Okay.
Oh, interesting.
It reminded me of Mel Gibson films that perhaps I didn't watch, but walked through the living room while they were on. Those chick flicks that he was in.
Those slow and boring ones.
Yeah, the ones I wouldn't have watched if you paid me.
Yeah.
What women want?
I remember how he sounds in those commercials or commercials for those. And it's like, okay, that's Mel Gibson. That's it just. He's the only actor I feel like the only character I feel like that doesn't meet the actor isn't really playing the character. He's playing
I was just about to
in a
say that.
Okay,
he's playing himself rather than the character.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and because he's the only one, it sticks out so much that I don't like it.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's not like going to like say, trying to think of a good example. Well, the Super Mario Brothers movie where I know that's Chris Pratt. But yeah, it does, and because Chris Pratt is just playing Chris Pratt, but that doesn't affect me as much as everyone else is just like spot on with I know Bowser's Jack Black and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the only actor I recognize, and he's just doing his own thing. It's like, couldn't you have at least done a slight accent or voice or something? Why are you playing Mel Gibson?
Yeah, because that's the draw.
I know, but it's like,
yeah,
fix that, please.
Yeah.
So,
all right. I mean, that's fair.
And like I said, that is a nitpick because for the most part, it's fine. I just wish it was different.
Well, let's talk about what's the least fine. Our most hated things are tragic makers for Chicken Run. I'll start because I feel like it's a nitpick, but it is what it is. Physics takes a serious hit at the end of this movie. It's like
what?
Ridiculously bad.
Outrageous.
I just like. Okay,
I'll
first
admit,
off,
I have no idea how that chicken bird plane coop thing works.
Yeah,
I think it was flapping so fast you could only see the slow-mo version of it.
Yeah,
kind of like when helicopter propellers spin so fast, it looks like it's going so slow.
Except then had you explain the front propeller because you were seeing that at the speed you would think you would see the wings flapping.
See, I think I would have liked that more. I understand what you don't like about it. I think it would have been more acceptable if all of that stuff that Babs was sewing together was like a giant balloon that somehow lifted them up off the ground.
That'd be acceptable.
Gave it another excuse for lift.
Let me explain more. I want to really drill into this. So first off, you have apparently this is powered by chickens pedaling, and somehow that's going to overcome the weight of all the chickens. And Ken, I know you're an aeronautical engineer, aka rocket scientist, so you can back me up on this. So chickens pedaling is enough to spin a propeller at the front that's going to have enough thrust to lift all the weight of the chickens. Okay, maybe I buy that. Maybe. But then you also have a full-grown woman that's able to hang on from this plane that's designed only for chickens. Momentum. I'm sorry. I'm out. Good night, everybody.
If you get a plane moving that fast.
It wasn't moving that fast. It should have been off the ground anyway.
Look, this
and how does it turn on a dime without just rolling over?
All right, because what I realized by the end of it, because there's so many plot conveniences and so many suspensions of belief, that this movie is made for children.
Yeah,
it is made for children.
It's not made for adults. I know it's frustrating because most of the animation I watch now is anime that has all these like deeper themes and all this other stuff. And this is the first animated thing I've watched in a long time that I go, oh, this is made for kids.
Well, but here's the thing. There's other
which is weird because so much of the rest of the movie, when you discount their talking chickens, is seemingly realistic.
Well, yes, that's a good point.
It's not exactly, but it's and then you go to weird chicken biplane coop thing.
No, it's throughout.
And I'm going to say, but there's so much that is made for kids that I think really resonates with kids and adults. Like,
Yeah.
Your Tangled, your Beauty and the Beast, your what's some Kubo and the Two Strings. I feel like if we're going to stop motion.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were actually going to list 3 Disney movies in a row.
How dare you? And that's not the cut of my jib. No. So I think it can be done, but
sure.
Yeah, but I feel like this doesn't really walk that line very well. It's either they vacillate between the two extremes instead of trying to find the line
admittedly that they did Aardman at the very end, where they did the crazy invention like they do in the Wallace and Gromit stuff, where it just gets absolutely ridiculous. So
right.
All right, so
I admit I can see why you would have a problem with it. I kind of let it go, but
all right, that's fair. Well, what didn't you let go, Drew? What was your tragic maker?
Mrs. Tweedy's plan leaves a lot to be desired.
That's for sure. Also, fix the dang machine yourself, lady. I'm Miss Tweedle. Just get out of there. You don't need to be there.
All this money for advertising and
let's let Drew talk. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. She spends I don't know how much money on this all-in-one machine.
Right.
And packaging. I know how packaging goes, even cheap stickers on white boxes like this is.
Yeah.
And she has a billboard.
Right.
I know this is like supposedly around the 1950s based on everything I read. Not that the movie tells you that. But I'm assuming that's expensive even then.
Sure.
For the time. And instead of, I don't know, splitting the chickens between some that are going to have eggs so you can keep the egg business going, and maybe, I don't know, make more chickens?
Yeah.
There's an idea so that you actually have a stock, because here's the thing.
There's about 50 chickens there.
I was going to be nice and say 60. You've got 60 chickens on this farm. That's not a lot. Granted, she's only talking about like 5 grocery stores, I'm guessing, is all she's filling, and they're not American grocery stores, so maybe it's not a whole, maybe you don't need that much. Maybe you get lucky and can get 5 pies out of 1 chicken. I don't know, but at the same time, that is 2 or 3 days worth of work, and all of a sudden you have not even made back your investment on anything, and you are out of chickens.
Hey Drew,
do I tell you how to lay eggs?
I'm just saying, she may have been tired of the measly profits she was getting from the egg, from the egg laying, but it's a lot more money that she's going to get, turn them into pies without any more investment put into it to actually give her more to make.
Yep, 100% sound. It's not a good business investment the way she's going about it.
I don't think
it's a horrible business investment.
I don't think you saw that happy guy in the magazine though, Drew. He looked like he was making tons of money. How could
from the magazines he sells to Mrs. Tweedy?
I recognize that this was bought on a get-rich-quick scheme. Unfortunately, Mrs. Tweedy really, if she's smart enough to know how to figure out the egg farm, she ought to be able to figure. It's like, if I need more eggs to go to market, I'm going to need more chickens to go to to make pot pies with.
Yep.
Maybe I should get more chickens, or set up what chickens I have to make more chickens so that I have a continuing crop is the wrong word, but a continuing
supply
population of chickens to make into pies later on. And you could still keep the egg business going because you're still going to have chickens there who can make eggs. You can double dip.
Yeah,
double dip, Mrs. Tweedy.
Make like chicken nuggets and double dip.
Now, granted, I understand that we did not have enough time to go into a full-blown plan, but this just seems like you didn't put much thought into it.
Exactly.
You just wanted quick money and didn't think about how you were going to keep it going.
And that leads to my tragic maker.
Okay, perfect. Finish this out, Paul.
And that's basically, there wasn't a lot of thought. A lot of these things, I think, that we've all mentioned could have been easily remedied. Like, just do it just slightly different. I think there's a good story here, but there's not a lot of thought. There's too much plot inconvenience. Like the dogs can't smell the difference between chickens or rats or people, or you know what I mean? It's throughout the whole movie. Like little things here and there. I think just bring it down unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the movie suffers for it.
Yeah. No,
I would say that's part of the suspension of disbelief, but
look,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying like the chickens can't talk English, or whatever language you hear this in.
I'm saying that.
I'm just saying, like, all these dislikes that we have, I think, are easily fixable in the plot if you just take a little bit more time.
No, yeah. I think you
and I will also say a lot of what I'm bringing up here, it's because I'm reviewing the thing and I have to come up with stuff to say in this section. I will tell you, in the process of watching the film, I usually don't care about these things.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I did, unfortunately.
I do most of the time, but okay, that's totally fair. But all right,
I have a difference in watching movies for review and movies for enjoyment.
Sometimes, I probably do as well.
Fair enough.
But regardless, now that we've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer, Alice, do you have a firing solution for us?
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo armed and ready to fire on your mark.
Alrighty, do we rate Chicken Run a classic? We'd recommend anyone go see this, whether or not they've seen it before. A nostalgic, it's worth your rewatching if you enjoyed it as a kid or the last time you saw this. But if you've never seen it before, don't take your time to watch it now. Or do we rate it a tragic? It's not worth anyone's time today. If you've never seen it before, keep it that way. And if you have seen it before, don't sully any good memories you have of it with a rewatch. Let's begin with our guest, Drew. What is your final rating for Chicken Run? You had predicted classic. Did it stay that way?
So here's a funny little story about me with this movie.
Okay.
About 20 years ago when I was in college, I had a class where we were talking. I didn't stay in this degree plan long, but it was a business management class of some kind. And I had to write a report based on a movie that showed good business management.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it on the chickens in this movie, not Mrs. Tweety, because there was good project management, I felt. In the movie.
Okay.
And the fact that this was the only movie that I thought would do good for that, despite the fact, I'm a big Star Trek nerd and a couple other things, I think that kind of tells you how much of a classic I think this film is.
So it doesn't. Can you explain it more?
Even though I have problems with the film from a critical point of view, I just do love this film. And I think it's one of my, like I said, this is, if I was on the Rushmore show for best animated movies, I don't know if this would be my George, but it's going to be very close.
Oh, wow. It would be on your mount. It would be on
on my mountain.
Wow.
I'm flabbergasted, but okay. So classic for Drew. Now we like to hear what you, our reflux capacitors, the people that support us through locals, we asked for you guys to vote on these movies, and collectively together, you rated Chicken Run a nostalgic film. So we have classic and nostalgic. Paul, you had predicted nostalgic. What did you end up rating this?
I predicted nostalgic, but I was hoping for a classic because I wanted to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it did not go up that high, but I still enjoyed it. So I kept it at nostalgic.
Kept it at nostalgic. Okay. Then for me, you know what, guys? After having this awesome conversation and reflecting on these chickens and just how well animated they were, and it's some of the themes of escape and freedom made me want to free myself from the shackles of this movie. So I rated it a tragic. I never want to see it again.
Oh, sorry, Drew.
But according to Retro Rewind,
let me rephrase this. Roy, I don't think we're ever going to agree
hold on,
on the movie.
Hold on.
My name ain't Roy.
There you go. What did you actually try to say, Drew?
To repeat, Roy, I don't think we're ever going to agree on a movie.
My name ain't Roy.
And that's fine. We've agreed on movies. I think we've agreed on some of the Star Trek movies.
Maybe. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Not anymore.
But they're both tragic, Ken. But according to the Retro Rewind podcast, we rate Chicken Run a disputed nostalgic film. So if you remember liking it growing up, yet, it's probably worth your time to watch again to get it today, but don't take your time to watch it if you've never seen it before. But now it's time to get back to our own time, good old 20XX.
20XX?
ComSat online, awaiting incoming transmissions.
Feels good to be back, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to...
Oh, sorry.
To begin with, if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely Deborah Powers, Geek Devotions, Drew of the Cellcast. Oh, you're right here.
Hey!
Ashley Ruiz, Kennethan, Fabulous Lomax, That's Our Bobo, D. Tungsten, Mr. Lost, Daryl Hafner, Cool Deluxe, Dustin, He's a Big Deal Warford, Flux, Redeemed Otaku, and 2 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And if you want to help keep us flying and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
Yeah, go reflux capacitors.
Go reflux capacitors.
And speaking of go.
I'll get you, Gadget, next time. But in the meantime, I have to listen to this podcast that's sponsored by PaulJPowers.com. Isn't that right?
So, Francisco,
yes,
I was wondering, besides our amazing patrons who support us financially, is there
and
any
with
other
awesome voice acting apparently?
Yes. And are there any other ways for people to support the show not financially?
Well, I mean, we accept chicken pot pies.
Or chicken nuggets?
Or chicken nuggets, yeah. Any chicken product? No.
How about this movie, Chicken Run?
No, that's not a chicken product. That's a clay product.
Oh.
I'm not into ceramics.
Maybe it's a chicken byproduct.
Oh gosh. Anyway, but seriously, Paul, yeah, there is a way you could support us. You probably enjoyed this episode if you made it this far. So if you aren't driving, tap the share icon on your podcast player for this episode and send it to a friend saying, I know you like Chicken Run, or I know you like claymation movies, so I thought you would like this podcast about them.
Yeah, cool. And I'll bet they'll thank you for it.
I think so too.
Speaking of thanking people, we want to give a big chicken hug to Drew for supporting us with his thoughts on the movie, the fabulous movie, almost the #1 movie of all time of animated films, according to Drew.
Wow.
Chicken Run. And since we like to go alphabetically, we'll start with Drew.
That's good.
Since you're the only one
Good
here.
to know I'm first in a list concerning only myself.
Yes. Drew, where can people find you online, and what cool things do you have going on that they should know about?
Well, you can find me over on the Cellcast podcast, where we review animated movies and television shows. That's over at thecellcast.podbean.com. And, well, coming up in the month of September is Bad Movie Month.
Dun, dun. Oh, so you're going to review Chicken Run again?
No. We've got some fun movies on the docket.
That sounds even worse.
A little bit of a troll in Central Park.
Oh no.
Raggedy Ann and Andy and the I don't know what you call that kind of trip.
The acid trip.
Nearly.
Nightmare fuel.
I lost what the second movie is. I can't even think of it right now. But the first movie we're starting off with is the final movie in our trilogy of animated Titanic knockoff films. In Search of Titanic, which from my understanding has a war with toys involved with it.
Oh.
I really am worried about this thing coming up. But if you want to hear us be tortured and maybe at least have some good fun reviews, probably bashing these films, go check out the Cellcast over at thecellcast.podbean.com. And we record live every Friday night at 6:30 Central. Except for Labor Day weekend.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
And most holiday weekends.
Good to know. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Drew. Hold on. Let me try that again.
Edna Mode.
Well, yes. Thank you so much, Drew, my awesome, not a chicken friend, Paul, and all you rewinders, new and old, for another fun voyage. Also, We also want to thank Alutrick for enhancing our music. Find him at alutrick.bandcamp.com or youtube.com/@Alutrick. That's spelled ALLOOUTRICK, then the number 8266 for the YouTube. So thank you so much to him.
I'm sorry, this is a weird transition.
I know. I think I wrote it differently in Star Trek. Let me see how I wrote it in Star Trek, because I think I did the same thing, but then I made it different, so it made more sense. So hold on. I have you say. Oh, here, I'll just write it, so you don't have to worry about it. Chicken Run, Edna Mode. By the way, Francisco of the future. I had to insert
Edna Mode.
Just a little a thing. I did insert myself into the Star Trek episode to make a correction in your favor, Paul. If that.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Was it?
I'm not gonna say. You'll have to listen.
All right. That's while we're waiting.
Wow. Okay, just
I
ignore
hope they don't copyright that song.
Okay.
I would like to think at this point they can't copyright it anymore.
Well, I'm surprised that how much that Disney is letting go.
Isn't that clip like 80 years old now?
I think is it Saludos Amigos or
I think?
or no?
That's 40s.
It's Three Caballeros, I think. Anyway,
it's still 40s.
Well, they haven't got to the colorized Mickey. Did you update it?
Yes, you may have to refresh.
Thank you all indeed. Okay,
Yeah,
is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
No, because what I'm saying is, if they haven't copyrighted that song by now, that's probably not copyrightable.
Yeah. Well, if they have
copyright rule requires,
as long as they don't listen to this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Okay, fair. Or a certain episode of the Cellcast too.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, thank you all indeed. And you can find me, pauljpowers.com, at pauljpowers.com.
Wow. And you can find me, that's a weird sound, Francisco. You can find me on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there at retrorewindpodcast.com/Discord and keep in the know about the board game I'm designing called Junkyard Juggernauts at junkyardjuggernauts.com.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box, a curated collection of podcasts, videos, and articles that will provide you a balanced meal of content. You will find culture celebrated for its past and future, satirized for its extremes, explored in study, and created anew in story. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
And as
Was
Mel
that the
Gibson.
farmer?
Huh?
Was that the farmer?
No, that was Mel Gibson. He just said we're now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth through stomedy, through story.
Stomedy? Wow, I love stomedy.
Yeah, that too.
Stomedy.
Stomedy, Corey, and Geekery, along with story, comedy, and geekery. It's all at culturebox.media.
Thank you, EXO, and thank you for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for little shop of horrors. Our next adventure on the Retro Rewind podcast.
Hey, we reviewed that one too.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to base to await next mission.
The exits are located here and here. In the quite likely event of an emergency, put your head between your knees and
kiss your bum goodbye.
I don't get the music thing.
So many questions.
Why in the American commercial at the beginning of the film they re-recorded the line so it's "kiss your butt goodbye" when they left the British bum in the movie?
Really?
To attract more kids.
I thought they said butt in the movie. Did they not?
No, it was bum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe because American kids this is targeted at don't know what a bum is.
Yeah, they think it's the guy huddled in the corner on the
Exactly,
street.
Yes.
I would have known, but what do I know?
All right, so Thank you so much. Who will save Generation X podcast like an artist, Jacob.
Like an artist is Jacob, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome, Jacob. We missed you.
Ken, Titanic. Oh, yeah. You're covering Titanic too?
No, In Search of Titanic.
Oh, Dale. Paul,
Titanic is barely in the film, from what I understand.
Sounds like they find it.
At some point. For 5 seconds.
And everyone else who is here, thank you so much for hanging out. We now need to figure out what we're going to do for a game because we don't have any spiritual speculation. So,
no, we're going to do best stop motion picture. Which do we think is the best stop motion film?
Okay,
that's not Chicken Run.
Yeah, that would be fair.
Okay, how about let's do let's gamify a little bit. Here's what we'll do.
Okay,
I'll start. So I'll name a movie I like that's stop motion. And then Paul has to name one that he thinks is better than that. Then Drew has to name one that he thinks is better than Paul's. Then I'll name one better as Drew's. And we'll see who ends up being like, yeah, I can't think of any others that are better than that. Okay? Does that make sense?
So don't start off with my top.
I mean, it could be, you may think it's the top, but I may think my one is better than your top. Obviously, Chicken Run is at the bottom, but that's at your top. So we don't know how this is going to go.
Chicken Run's out of the running anyway, so.
Okay. Yes. Well, I guess Chicken Run could be in it, but anyway, so I'll start. Let's see. I'm going to start for stop motion with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Paul?
Is it my turn? Oh, sorry. Better than Rudolph. That's slightly better than Rudolph. I'm going to go with Coraline.
Ooh, Coraline. Okay. Drew.
That's a toughie. I'm going to jump to Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's a good jump.
Better than Nightmare Before Christmas is, I would say, definitely Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Is better than... Okay, what's better than that? I'm going to jump to Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad I don't have to top that.
Admittedly, that's where I was thinking of going. But I will go to King Kong.
Is better than Kubo?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
All right. Jason, the Giant Killer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in the Argonauts. I was like, that's a good one. Okay, I'll go to Jason and the Argonauts because that's better than that.
Oh, me.
You mean Jack the Giant Killer?
Oh, what's it?
Jack
Did I say Jason? Jack the Giant Killer.
Yeah. Corpse Bride.
Clash of the Titans.
Oh.
Since we're going outside of purely stop motion at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, Harryhausen counts. He's the pioneer of the.
I mean, you started us with King Kong, so I'm like.
All right, fine.
I'll open Pandora's box, Drew.
I'll go with Empire Strikes Back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. All right. You want to get nuts?
Well.
All right. Let's get nuts.
If we're getting that nuts,
I'm gonna. Oh yeah, it's Drew's turn.
It's me. Stop motion better than Empire Strikes Back. Oh me.
I just thought of one.
This is where I should have said King Kong.
Is better than.
Paranorman.
All right. Monster House.
This is not a definitive rating, by the way.
Did you say Monsters, Inc.?
Monster House.
Which is not stop motion.
Oh, is that motion capture?
It is CG.
All right, fine. I'll
CG.
take it back. I'll take it back. Calm down.
Get back.
Yeah, it was overly motion capture.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, then I'll go with, what was the last one you said?
Paranorman.
Okay. I'm sure I can think of one. We already did Kubo. Return of the Jedi, I guess.
Better than Return of the Jedi, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, there would have been stop motion on that.
Jurassic Park, the first one. Because I think there were some in there.
There was some.
Right, yeah.
There was a lot of animatronic, some CG, but there was still some stop motion because that was originally what they were doing to make that before they did the CG.
Right.
So some of that still made it in there. You're killing me, Smalls.
Will Paul be the winner?
Are you trying to still save the best for last?
I gave up trying to keep it in a better.
I'm just doing the better
subjective,
than the one before.
I'm doing better than the one before.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I think Frankenweenie is stop motion.
It is.
Okay. I think they wanted it to be CG, but it is stop motion.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Clay Fighter 64.
Oh no.
That's a little too. If we're going that far off,
you know what's better than
Gravity Falls, where they did it in claymation.
You know what's better?
Streets.
You know what's better than both of those?
What?
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
I haven't
right.
Seen
that is
it.
stop motion.
All right. I can't.
I will go. I will concede to you, Paul.
All right,
for that
Paul,
one.
you win. Good job.
Yeah.
Well done.
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is something everyone should watch.
Okay, I haven't seen it. If I don't like the Disney Pinocchio, do I still have a shot?
It's better than the Disney Pinocchio, no matter how you feel about Disney's Pinocchio.
Well, I disagree. I like the Disney one better, but
I understand, but I think it's a better told story.
Okay.
Guillermo del Toro's.
Awesome. Well,
it does have. There are some scenes in them like, wow, that was incredible how they did that.
Okay.
It is my favorite depiction of Benito Mussolini.
American Werewolf in London. Okay. Then in that case, Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Well, in that case, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Well, in that case,
the Temple of Doom.
Exactly. Okay. I think you see where this is going.
We've been off the rails a while.
Yeah. But congrats, Paul, for winning this made-up, completely real game. But thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Reflex Capacitors, for supporting us, since you're going to be getting this content, except for the people that watch live. But I think that is going to be all for tonight. So thank you all so much, and hopefully you have a good one. Until next time, here is your stream face.
I don't know what they're doing.
The exits are located here and here. In the quite likely event of an emergency, put your head between your knees.